The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 209. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal woman on the show today. She is the founder of Women Making Big Sales, and I'm just really excited to have her on and share her story with us. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Melinda Chen. Melinda, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Yes, hi, Sheena. I'm excited to be here. What a great topic and great podcast. Yes, I am the founder of Women Making Big Sales. I've been in corporate sales for 15 years, and I went from not knowing anything about sales to now using sales to sell around the world and in different industries. So definitely understand the importance of confidence when it comes to selling or in life. And I'm excited to share the journey of how I built my self-confidence with you and your audience.
Awesome. We're so excited to have you on. And Melinda, what's your cultural background?
I'm Taiwanese Canadian. So I was born in Taiwan. I came to Canada, Montreal, when I was 15, and then I stayed here ever since. So I really feel like I'm 50% Taiwanese and 50% Canadians. I get to choose two great places to call home.
Awesome. And I love it. And it's funny. We were talking earlier how we're like pretty much neighbors because she's in Quebec and I'm in Toronto. It's pretty much like a 5-hour drive.
Yay!
Really. So, it's great to have, women from Canada and, with an Asian background be able to show others what's possible. So, thanks again. And Melinda, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
I think my favorite self-confidence quote would be "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone." I've done a lot of different activities throughout my sales career, but when I started my career in sales, I'm actually not naturally a very outgoing person. I'm a bit more private, and maybe it's being Asian. My family were all about, focusing on doing rather than talking. So it's a very quiet family. We don't talk a lot or share a lot about what we've done today or the news. So it's I came from a family that did not talk a lot. So naturally, I wasn't a really super talkative person, and I wasn't really out there and attract a lot of attention. So when I started my sales career, it was a little bit difficult, or I wasn't feeling completely natural about being a salesperson. And I actually I was thinking whether I would be a good salesperson or not, because I would see my competitors and they seem to know exactly how to attract clients and how to get their attention. And I just didn't think that I was really naturally born with it. But it took a lot of out of my comfort zone to be able to learn new skills and learn new adventures and learn from my mistakes. For example, I did a lot of cold calls, and that was really out of my comfort zone. But I think the moment I started doing things and say, well, even though I didn't feel comfortable about this, or even though I was feeling really scared, but once I did it, I really think that there's a freedom that comes with it. The fact that, hey, I've done it. I know exactly how it goes. And that really helped me with my self-confidence.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, that is a great quote. I mean, especially like you said, for Asian women, it's really challenging for us to kind of go out there and speak our voice, especially since we've been, pretty much told all our lives not to really make any noise and just be the obedient daughter or wife or sister. So,
yes.
It's really important for us to go out there and share our voice so we can show others what's possible. And, Melinda, what would be your definition of self-confidence?
I think my definition is just like what you said about, Asian women, and there was a lot of talk, a lot of lectures of being that good woman, right? And, you have to be humble, quiet, not attract too much attention. So for me, the self-confidence is knowing who you are and not worried about what other people think of you. And I always when I was thinking about this question, I think about the beginning of my sales career. And I think that was one of my biggest fear is that when I go to networking event or when I call the clients or when I was doing my sales presentations, I'd always worried about what other people think of me. And I always get scared that, oh, when I go to networking event, people seem to have so much more experience than I do, or people seem like they're so much more successful than I am. And then I worried about that. And the moment I feel like, the moment you can know who you are and not worried about what others people think of you. And I think that's really the confidence and the importance of confidence.
Awesome. And I love that definition. And it's true. The moment you let go of what other people think of you, it's
Yeah.
the freedom for you to do whatever you want. Right. And, it's funny because we're all guilty of it, right? We get so scared of what other people think of us. They might think we're crazy or we don't know what we're doing. And, half the time the people who you think are thinking about you aren't thinking about you, right? They're too busy thinking about, their own things. So just go out there, do your thing, and, the right people will come to you. So
Yeah.
great definition again, Melinda. And, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
Yeah, my life was really about, when I was really a lot younger, I think I spent a lot of time worried about, what other people would think of me. And a lot of times I even would kind of limit myself to things that I only feel comfortable with. So people I would talk to, I would only limit myself to talking with people that seem a little bit more friendly. And for example, when I was selling, instead of going after the big clients or clients that are more lucrative, I would go after small clients. I would only talk to small clients because I thought that would be the easier way to do it, and I'd be more likely to get sales. But only later did I realize that that wouldn't give me much of the profit I was looking for. So I think when I was just working before, I spent at the beginning of building my self-confidence, I think I spent a lot of time caring about what other people think of me.
Thanks for sharing that. And, I don't, people don't realize, like, you said you started with clients that you were more comfortable with instead of chasing the big accounts, right? And people don't realize it takes the same amount of energy to get, maybe a $5 client versus a $1,000 client. And it's just all in the confidence and, taking off those limits. And, what was that moment in your life when you realized, you can go out there and, go after, the bigger clients or go out there and have that confidence to do it?
Yeah, I think that was really at one of the few networking events I started attending at the beginning. When I just started my sales careers, going to networking event was a must as a business person. So at the beginning, I would start to go to a networking event and actually got really scared because I would look at people that were a lot more senior than I was. And, they were always dominated conversation. And, being Asian as well, I was this small woman. I was never tall. I was not tall to begin with, and I was surrounded by guys wearing suits, and I could feel like it was hard for me to even have a really, being engaged in a conversation. So at the beginning, I was very much intimidated by networking events, and that's also the reason why I started doing a lot of cold calls because I figured, oh, there was no way I would get clients at networking events. I mean, look at all these successful competitors. There was no way that people would want to buy from me. So instead, I decided to do a lot of cold calls. And then I think that was one of a very big networking event I had to go to. So I decided to go there. And I was, again, I was nervous about it. And I spent lots of time deciding on what I was going to wear, what I was going to say. And I went to that event. And I was, for some reason, a person, he was sitting next to me. We started chatting. I didn't know what his position was because I didn't really know the person. And then we started chatting. And since I wasn't expecting much from networking event, I was being very casual and natural. And I wasn't really thinking that I was going to get a lot of results out of this event anyway. So I was talking to this person. And then shortly afterwards, only towards, I think, 10 minutes into the conversation, we started introducing ourselves. It turned out that that person was a CEO of a really large company I was trying to target. And I couldn't believe it because because when I was speaking with him, it seemed so natural and he was really easygoing. And that's what really, like, then I realized that, wow, you know what? It did not matter what the person's title was. it was really, me thinking about, oh, wow, these people, they all seem so successful. They seem like they know it all. But, strip away those titles. They're really just people. And I didn't really have to care so much about what they think of me. And I can just be myself, and I'll naturally attract the kind of person who are similar to me. And I think that's really my aha moment, and realizing that, hey, it didn't really matter who I was speaking with. The process is the same. If I have to sell to somebody, like you said, it didn't really matter whether the person's small or big. They all had similar concerns. They all had similar objections, and we all have to go through the similar sales process. And that's when I started to not worry too much about people's title, and not worry too much about what other people think of me, and just focusing the person in front of me and serving that specific person.
Awesome. And what a great story. And I love how you said that, it was so natural. And we forget that, sometimes we might have to be of service for people and let everything come naturally, right? Have that easy flow, kind of like when you talk to the CEO, not knowing, you're just talking to them, you're just being yourself. And, like you said, it was a big aha moment because, you didn't use any pitch or any sales tactic. You were just yourself. You had a service that, you could provide to them and solve their problem. And, because of that aha moment, what's your life been like now?
Because of that aha moment right now, whenever I am in any events or when I approach big clients, I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. And I know the kind of impression I project towards others. And I will naturally attract people who are attracted to my qualities. So I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to serve everybody, but I'm simply trying to attract the best kinds of client that would appreciate my qualities and my knowledge. And because of that, I don't have to worry about what other people think of me, and just focusing on serving the people that I can help with, and really enjoy that fun and have the confidence to say, hey, you know what? I might be doing something today. I might be doing something that I'm not 100% comfortable with, but that is fine. I'm just going to go ahead and do it and try to learn from mistakes and have fun, and then go after clients.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, Melinda, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey of self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
I say just do it. Just go ahead and do it, and stop listening to those negative voices, and just go ahead and do it. Because the moment you start doing it, you'll realize that things are not that complicated, or things are not as hard as they seem. And people are not going to judge you because you make a small mistake or because you did something stupid. So just go ahead and do it, and enjoy the ride, and dream big.
Love it. And I love your tip. Just do it. A lot of people want to change, but if you don't take action on it, nothing will ever change, right? It's taking that action regardless of what the outcome is that will give you the life that you want. So thank you so much. And Melinda, if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yes, they can come to my website, Women Making Big Sales, where I provide a lot of tips about how to sell to big companies. Or they can also connect with me on Facebook. It's called Facebook Women Making Big Sales. And they can connect with me there, where I share motivations and tips and hacks on sales and business in general.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Melinda, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Melinda's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I really just want to thank Melinda for taking the time to share her journey with us and her story and tips. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was an awesome to have you on. And listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Sign up for our free membership site to get more amazing resources for self-confidence by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.